Okay, it is 9:49 a.m. and I don't have any trades. I did have a verified cancel with DPLS, and that was at 9:35. In theory, it was going to break out of this little tiny range here at the 66 level. I just didn't get filled. I was too slow probably, and it did make a move, and I would have been out in the 69, so I don't think I would have been holding it in the 70s. And why was I interested in it? If you can take a look at this chart here, you can see the wicks. It was overall trying to be a support level at the 60 level. So the way it was holding it and everything, I thought, okay, well maybe, it just had its run up and now it's trying to take a breath here, and maybe over the same day or the next few days it can continue the uptrend. And that was the idea there, and also that breakout at 66. So this one is working. At this point, I'll be interested in it if it continues to look nice and maybe eventually it drops and it plays around VWAP, whether it's just something that drops at VWAP or right under it or maybe a little above it and consolidates. I might be interested in something like that just to be in for a dip. But I don't like how I had this big drop. Not really big, but it had a drop from 74 to 71. So this might have been the move already. It just didn't do anything with VWAP. So if it were to maybe actually drop towards it, it might not be as ideal. So I'll have to watch that. And the other one was ILUS. I did miss this one completely. I was interested in it. I believe it was 15.4 breaking, because this is where there was some resistance around this 15.4 level. And this one continued to make a move towards the upside too. And this is the same idea with DPLS, although not as nice if you look at the daily chart. But if it can do something around VWAP, I might be interested in that as well. No interest with CYBL, although it looks like it's trying to wake up and do something. Maybe break past the 16 level and continue above it. That's about it. I don't really see anything too ideal besides that, and I'll make an update later. Right, it is 10:15 a.m. and look at this beautiful level 2 action. Not 15.6 by 16.4, and it's actually trading roughly around that range. I was thinking about this for a dip under VWAP, and this one is doing it horribly. DPLS was better, but look how horrible it was, and that there was like no actual price action, just these random level 2 exchanges where, there would just be a blip of tiny volume, and none of this is looking nice. This might be a day that I don't trade anything, which is totally fine, and I'll make an update perhaps later, maybe when the market is closed. I do have to catch up with a lot of work, but all of this price action is just disgusting, so it's not going to get any of my money. But if something nice comes up, I'll consider it. However, at this point, I might just go and do all the work I need to catch up with and call it a day. Okay, it is 10:26 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Pretty much this was no trading day. There were no setups that I was able to be a part of, and the ones that happened after the morning spikes with DPLS, the one that I was interested in here, as well as ILUS around that 15.4 level. Once those trades were missed, I didn't see anything else that I really liked. I didn't like the price action here. I didn't like the price action here, and that's totally fine. It was basically a no trading day, although I did trade BNOW at the end of the day. This one ended up uptrending throughout the entire day, which is nice. I wasn't a part of it, and even if I wasn't working, just fulfilling orders, even if I was still looking at setups, I don't know if I would have actually even have checked the scanners and would have seen something like this. But in theory, this could have been that beautiful breakout buy. I'd say maybe around this 12-14 level when it broke it, and then it kind of came back, and then it tried again, and then it's still basing off of the level, or if not a little bit more of a confirmation around this level here at 1235. That would have been something nice to be a part of and hold. And it was trading this trend line. Look, I threw a very tiny trade here. I don't want this day to be summarized by this one trade because it was just a speculative trade. I put such little money in it, but I did trade a very tiny, just under $30 position here with BNOW, a luxury you can do with Fidelity because you don't have to pay for commissions, but you still get the trade experience, I think. Even if it's not a lot of money, it's still money on the line. I just threw in a trade just saying, all right, well, if this thing's gonna follow the trend line, let's see if this thing can be the kind of OTC runner that, has this nice uptrending, price action throughout the entire day. And then by the time it gets near the market close, like it just gets really crazy. Like I've seen it happen a few times, and this one didn't happen here. Essentially, I bought at, let's see, no, I'll keep it like this because the trend line is still there. I bought at 304, which was right around here, and I got out at almost 307 with the idea of that this thing can continue to follow the trend line and do something nice and maybe go like super crazy at the end of the market, right at the close. That didn't happen. When I got in, the price action looked really ugly. It looked like it was going to actually break the trend line, which was around this 57 level, and I got out. I lost 50 pennies. Just a small speculative trade, and yeah, that's really about it. Hopefully in the future, in the same, environment, I'm able to be a part of a setup like that with DPLS and actually get filled, and with ILUS as well. Those two were really nice, and I actually did have a verified cancel order. I did try to sell BNOW for break even. That wasn't something that happened, but I wasn't, dumb, just thinking, oh, well, if I can't get it at the price, for break even or a profit, let me just hold on to it. I didn't do any of that dumb stuff. As you can see, it did break the trend line and get to 51. And even with a small position, that is like more than a 10% loss. So I'm glad, I just stick to my plan, at least in that sense. I did try to buy DPLS one more time, just 1,000 shares, not a large position. And that was at 1052. And I canceled it almost immediately. Right here at 1052. On this one, I'm going to get rid of extend hours just because it makes more sense. Right here, 1052. So, I was pretty annoyed with this price action here, and then it had a little uptrend to this 729 level from the 71 level. And I thought, okay, well, it did that, and it came back around the same level. Maybe I'll do it again, like a double bottom setup. And I did place a buy order at 1052. Again, right here, just 1,000 shares. And why? Because I saw a 300K bidder show up, and I thought that was really good price action. That can cause a lot of more people to buy, seeing that big bidder there. Maybe the price action can't continue, and there's now a support level with that big person at the bid. But as you can see right here, I mean, like immediately somebody took out that 300K bidder, and that looked so sketchy. It just gave me a bad vibe. Like if somebody shows up with a lot of size at the bid and then it immediately gets taken out, that means there is somebody with a lot of shares they're trying to sell, and they're trying to be sneaky about it, but that's super sketchy price action. And this one did fail. It did get as low as 68 and traded in this range, and then at that point I was gone. I had other things to do, and yeah, that's about it. I did try that with DPLS. It didn't work out. Obviously, this would have been the ideal one. Same with ILUS around that same level. I hope I can get better and not, miss out on a setup like that. Very speculative trade with BNOW, although, it was a tiny 50-cent loss. I need to not take it personally. It was just an experiment, and I knew that it didn't have to work out, especially when I got in, given how long it's been following the trend line. That's all I have for today.